Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? So, you probably noticed I now have 232,000 euros because the field over there that had the sugar beet, I harvested it and then I put slurry on it, I think, or fertilizer, whatever it was, and then we ploughed it and cultivated it and sowed it. So you basically, if you go into a field that's ready to harvest, you get a whole load of jobs that you can do, one after the other. And then I did the same with this field here, and if I just bring up the mini-map, so we're on field 2 and field 8. And I already did that with field 9 previously, so now I have a huge pile of money, which is enough to go and get the combine. Before, I'm just going to leap into this tractor, and we are going to return every single bit of machinery that we don't own. That is the first task for the day. We're going to return all of it. I was just going to return the bale stuff, but no, I've decided I'm going to return everything that I don't own, and if we want to use something, we are going to have to earn the money and we're going to have to buy it. Now, I've done a huge amount this time off camera, and that is not going to be a regular thing. I am going to, more usually, I'm going to be doing I'll do stuff on camera with you. We'll figure out different ways that we could perhaps make some money in order to get a goal accomplished. We'll just come past here. I'm just going to bring this one down here. So my weekly question that I asked you all last week was, which of those 4 tractors did you want me to get? And the available options, I'll show you in a minute. It was the Massey Ferguson, it was the Case, it was the Deutz, and it was the Lamborghini. And I've got all the results. I've tallied up all the numbers from the 3 cards from the 3 episodes, and we have had quite an impressive response. I must say, I was quite pleased at the amount of people that have responded and the amount of answers that we've had. So this was the 4 tractors. Let me just come up through here. These 4 here. So we had the Massey Ferguson, we had the Deutz Fire Series 7, that was the MF 7700, the Lamborghini Mac VRT, and the Case Puma CVX. We had a total of 2,176 responses, which is absolutely fantastic. So it does appear that you like the cards and that it's something that you want to keep doing. So I will keep doing the cards up here. Keep putting your comments in the comment section because I still read those. A few people did ask, does this mean I'm not going to read anything anymore? I will keep reading your comments. I always read your comments. I respond to a few. I can't respond to everybody because I just don't have time to do that. There is just not enough time to respond to everyone, but keep putting them in and I will keep reading them. So the Lamborghini, that came in at a total of 266 votes. That was the bottom. The Deutz, a little bit better at 298, but still not very popular, which surprised me because I thought that the Series 7 was quite a popular tractor. And then the Case came in at 423 votes. And right at the top, with more than half the votes, was the Massey Ferguson at 1,189 of the 2,176 votes. So I think you might just be trying to tell me that you want me to get that tractor there. I will get it. Obviously, I'm not going to get it today. We're getting a combine with this money. Fear not. For those of you who weren't able to get the tractor that you desired on my map, I will be using every single tractor that you see here in the base game. I will at some point use it on a Let's Play somewhere. So you'll get to see all the tractors, but, you know, some of them I won't be using as much as others. So that is that one. Now, my question for today, I've done all this work on these fields up here, and I will do a bit of work on these 2 fields here, 15 and 20. We own field 14 and field 19 at the moment, and I want to expand our land. I was thinking of doing some up here. We're going to plough up a section here, and we're going to plough up a section here, and I'm also considering ploughing a section here to get some free land, which is all great and good, but we're going to want more than that. So my question is, do you want me to expand the land further next, and by field 15 and field 20, I'll do a few jobs, and we'll sort of work towards that together. And we'll get some crops as well, and so that we can buy those 2, we'll plough up the land in between the 2 fields and sort of extend it out towards the road a little bit down here as well, and sort of make it into one big field. So do you want me to do that as my next major project? Obviously, well, it'll be after that. This week our major project is ploughing up these bits here. So do you want me to, my next major project, do you want me to buy field 15 and 20 and turn them into a large field? Or do you want me to expand the pigs? The pigs, we've got a few pigs, but I feel that we could expand them. We own 12 at the moment. I would like to at least treble the number of pigs that we own. I feel that would be something really good to work towards. We do need to clean up the animals a bit. But anyway, you should have your card have already come up here. Do you want me to expand the pigs, or do you want me to buy some more fields? It's your vote. It's your game. I will try to make this as close to what everybody wants as possible. But obviously, this is the thing. Not everybody likes the result for the weekly question. And so, sort of feel that, well, if I'm doing what the majority of people want, even if it's like quite close, you could have 2/3 of the people want something, and there's a third of the people that feel a bit hard done by. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ignoring the minorities. I'm taking into account what you want, and we will sort of touch on other things as well. So I do take into account your comments, especially. If you have a look at the poll, because I think once you voted and your poll answer, you can see all the answers, you can see the results. So if your particular vote, it's really going against you, give me a reasoned argument as to why you want to see your answer. And if I like that argument, I will find another way to incorporate what you voted for. It might not necessarily be what people want to see this time. We're choosing between pigs or extra land. And people might not necessarily want, say for example, people want me to do a load of extra pigs and don't want me to get extra land yet. Well, that's fine. But, I could end up getting extra land another time. Nothing is set in stone on this, and I will do what the people want me to do, but at the same time, I will also take into account that, the other answers are valid as well, and we may eventually do those as well. It's just, it's kind of what takes priority and what doesn't. Now, that Joskins trailer there is leased, so we want to hitch that one up and take that one up to the shop. And I can't remember what else is leased. Oop, no, I don't want that one. I want this one, and I want to go into the garage, and I want to go to leased items. Oh dear. Right, so the forage wagon, I kind of need the forage wagon. That's quite an important one. The seed drill, that's the new seed drill, the one for planting corn. We can live without that for now. That's the leveler. And then we got the animal trailer. Right, I just did say that I would get rid of everything. I really need that one. If we buy... No, we need to buy both headers for the combine as well. Right, we are going to return stuff. And I'm going to take this one back up to the shop. And then we'll have a look at everything that we've got up there. I think I've already carried the Joskins trailer up there. As for the rest of it, I might just return a couple of items from down here, just to save us a bit of time, because we want to get on. We need to get our combine. That was the first thing that we need to do this week. And we need to harvest those 2 fields. And then we also need to plant those fields. We've got to cultivate, we've got to plant. I'd like to... And then we want to get started on our major project of the week, which is getting our new land, ploughing up the bits at the top. Someone else has said to me, this in particular, it does apply to the time lapses, but also I'm wondering if it applies to this as well. They asked if I could keep the mini-map up so that they can see where I am in the map, if if you've missed a bit, whatever it might be, and then they can see my location if I keep the mini-map there. So this is a little extra question. Just head into the comment section to talk about this one. Do you want me to maintain the mini-map on the screen at all times? Would that be easier for you to follow along sometimes? Would that make it better for you? And also in regards to time lapses, the same thing applies. Do you want me to do it with the time lapses, or are you happy to have it without the mini-map? There's a little, just a little thing I'm curious about. What do people feel about having the mini-map up or not, generally? Right. I am going to return all this machinery in a minute. I'm not going to bother bringing the rest of it back. We will do a blanket return, and then I can get started on our next project. And there you have it. No vehicles available in leased items. We don't lease anything on this map anymore. I'm not going to go to this extreme on Goldcrest. I know I'm leasing just about everything, but we are going to own a few things on there. I might buy a couple of the tractors. Purely because the people that I used to work for that leased everything, they did own a couple of items, and it would make sense that you would, say, buy a tractor and maintain that one for yourself, but then you would lease all the other machinery, and you could also lease the land. I mean, obviously we can't lease land in this game, which is a bit of a shame. It would be nice if we could do that. So we've got a lot of stuff. We do have a standard seed drill. The only one that we don't have is the other type of seed drill, so we can buy that when we need it. And we've got our two tractors and our loader. But what we're after today is the TC5.90. That's the one I said I would get. A few people suggested getting the Sampo Rosenlu and getting the bigger headers for it, which I thought was a really good idea, but I did say right from the start that I would go for this combine. So that is what we're going to do. Buy. There we go. 176,000 euros. It took me ages to earn all that money. It really did. It's a lot quicker to spend it than it is to earn it. And the other thing about it was, am I actually going to be able to buy them all? I did use the GPS mod when I was doing the fields and that, and oh, it's so much easier when you're doing the contracting jobs to use the GPS mod. It makes life so much easier. It's quicker, it's more efficient, and yeah, it was just generally a better experience. So I'm very glad that I got the GPS mod. And I will show you that. We will do some work on other fields. Right, we have just enough for a header trailer. Now, the problem I've been having with the header trailer in the time-lapse is I can't lift the header off of the trailer. You have to drag the trailer out from under it. So, are we going to need the header trailer? I'm going to say yes, we will, because if we're going to be ploughing up land all the way up there, we're going to be going quite a long distance with the combine back and forth. So I think we will end up needing the header trailer, won't we? So we are going to have to buy that. That's 4,000 euros. I will keep the colour as it is, because that's New Holland colour, actually, so we can keep it at that. Right, I've got all my machinery over here at the moment, which is a bit inconvenient. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into the combine and I'm going to get that header, and we're going to get started on harvesting the corn. We've got, in our pigs, they've got 1,600 litres of corn left, and in our store we've got, we've still got 3,300 there. Right, so we don't have to worry too much about that. We do have some corn, but if your vote ends up wanting me to expand the pigs rather than expand land to start with, it will mean that we're going to need a lot more corn, so we will prioritise this. Now I've got to try and get that header onto the combine with the tiny little bit of space that they have allowed me in here. And the reason that the camera is doing that is because I have the mod that I think it's just called the camera mod, or disable camera, or something like that. And basically it stops the camera from jumping in. And when it's on buildings, right, I know that's not the best way of lining it up, but it'll have to do. When the camera's in buildings, it does mean that it goes outside of the buildings, but the main reason is because, you know, when you have a trailer on the back of your machine, and say it's got logs or something, and you want to bring the camera down and pan around behind the logs, and it won't let you. It'll bring it down, and then it'll, as you sort of come over, it suddenly leaps in like that right up close, because it goes in front of the logs. Well, this mod stops it from doing that. Which is absolutely great. I really like it. And it also means that in places where the roads, I noticed on Goldcrest Valley, I'm going to drive from in the cab here. I noticed on Goldcrest Valley that when you're driving along, if you put the camera right to the ground, there are places just outside of where you buy the machinery. If you put the camera right down, it actually drops down below the road, and the road has got a little bit of a valley underneath it, which is why when you knock the signs over, just outside of the shop on Goldcrest Valley, the signs disappear because they fall through the road, and that's why. So now we know, mystery is solved. Actually, I could probably show you here exactly what happens. See, it comes down through, and then you go right underneath the road. So we'll have a look at that in a second when we get over here. I know this isn't exactly realistic, running along under the road, but there you can see the grass right underneath the road. I mean, here it's up to the road, so you can't actually pan into the road just there. But that's what that camera mod does. It's one of the ones on the on the Farming Simulator website, so there isn't a link for it or anything. The only one that I've got at the moment that isn't on that website is the GPS mod, and there is now a permanent link in the description for that mod, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. Right, we're going to get this one in here, and we are going to unfold, and we're going to get started on the corn. I will nip up and I will get one of the tractors so that we can put it onto the trailer while we're at it. I'm going to wash this tractor before I hitch it onto the trailer. Actually, I'll tell you what, we could always... Nah, let's just get it washed. I realise I am quite foolish. I should have used the combine to pick the header up and put it onto the trailer before I left the shop up there, because now I've got to have to go back and lift the header up onto the trailer before I can come back down here in order to harvest the next field. Yes, I'm not too bright sometimes. Not too clever. Anyway, it's done. I will have to go back. I will do that in my own time. I won't bore you with the details of it. It's only just travelling back up to the shop and back down again. But at least we're going to have a nice clean tractor before we start our harvest. That's a positive, I feel. Even if we did mess up slightly on the whole header thing. Right, there we go. Clean enough. Let's go. Actually, I don't need the flashing beacons on anymore. And no, I'm going to do this from in the cab. There. And come over here. Right. Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting having to buy every single piece of machinery, because obviously if we want to get more pigs, we're going to need to get a trailer, aren't we? We're going to need to get a animal trailer in order to be able to carry the pigs down. And I don't really want to get a lorry and do it that way. Right, let's start that one back up, and we will unfold the combine, and we'll unfold the header. It's not a very big header, so this could take a little while, but I think it'll do. It'll be alright. There we go. Right, now everything is in place. Let's go back to the combine, and I'm going to... I was wondering, maybe I'll use the GPS on this and do it myself a little bit. I don't know. I will just take a couple of slices off the end of the field down here before I do anything else, so that I've got a bit more room for turning round on it. I think that could be one way to go about it. So let's start up, and we'll have a good look at this combine while we start up. It's quite a pleasing sound as it fires up, really, isn't it? Quite like that. And away we go. Right. I know I have said before, it is a shame that you can't choose to leave the leave it as a straw swath. All of the stuff that's left from the maize here. I'm going over the end of that, and it's missing it just a little bit. It seems to be a little bit sensitive on this side for picking the stuff up, and our combine's a little bit bouncy. That's the ground response mod that's doing that, making it bounce up and down a little bit. But it's not really bad, but it's enough that I suppose it could get irritating for people sometimes. Let's just come on round here. Lower it down. I'm going to try a pass in cab like this. Try and keep it there. If I just where the steering wheel is, right in the middle, if I can keep it lined up there, hopefully we won't miss anything. Not through there. And what I'll do is, once I get to the end of the field now, I'll engage the GPS mod, and we'll see what it's like turning up the other end. I reckon... Oh, that's the other thing with it, is it doesn't stop at the... It goes up to the end of the field and it stops. But if you have it turning, you do need to cut a little section on the end of the field in order for it to sort of have room to turn round, because it doesn't go out the end of the field with the GPS mod. It just sort of slightly overlaps it. So we'll run down here now, and we'll take another slice off the end of the field on this end, and then I'll use the GPS mod to move up and down in between. Hopefully that'll work quite nicely. So let's lower that one down, and we'll come in here. There we go. Right, I want to make sure that I'm over far enough that I don't leave another little piece like I did on the last time. If I get these two done, then I can start working on the land work, and we can see how well it can turn with the GPS mod. Right, nearly done this bit. I reckon I could expand this field quite a bit with the plough. I'm not up against the barn over there, and you've got those bushes sort of down that end, but we could expand it out that way, right up to the track, out to the track all along this way, and down that other side. So we could do that on 3 sides, and if we went and got the roller that we were using in Goldcrest, that one, then it wouldn't matter if it deleted the grass, because it would be out on the road, so it would just put the road back. We'd have all this extra land here for free. I know that we're going to go and get a load of free land now soon. Right, I'm just going to bring up the GPS mod. Yeah, that one. Right, and now people were telling me that, oh, it's that one, auto offset reversal for ploughing, which I had no idea about, so that's really cool. Now then, I want to auto adjust work width like that, and turn on the GPS, and that's it. Right, send you up across the field. While that one works, I'm going to do a few more little minor alterations. So, end field, I'm now going to have it turn, and at the moment it turn into the next one. I don't want it to do that. I want it to turn into, I want it to leave one line and then turn up. Hopefully it will work. Hopefully it will do that. It will leave a single width and then it will move up the field. So I've got the lines on at the moment. I'm going to leave the lines here for a second, and I'll leave that GPS interface up just while it does this first turn. So it beeps at you when it comes to the end. Right, now it should start to turn. Because we've done a bit of it, it's not going to be able to turn in enough, is it? No. It does do that sometimes. It doesn't quite cooperate with what you want it to do. And if I was to change it and alter that so that it come up as 2, it might not do that properly anyway. Right, I'm going to... I'll leave the lines on for a minute. I want to be able to see them, but I can just remove that out of the way so that we don't see it. And yes, I am very interested to hear if you would like me to keep that mini-map up at all times, or if you prefer it not there. Just let me know your thoughts on the subject, because I have had a few people say that they want me to keep it up there so that they can see what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. And I just want to sort of hear everybody's opinion on that one. Right, because of the way he's turning, he seems to be skipping one extra lane compared to what I've asked it to skip. So if I bring up the interface again a minute, and I will drop that back down to 1, he should skip 2. And I'll turn the lines off now so it's a bit more realistic, and close that one up. There we go. So now our combine is just going to automatically do this right up until he needs emptying out. And I think what I'll do, actually, I'll stop it at the end of this row, and we will empty it out, and then I can let it carry on again. I'll just get it down here, and I'll allow it to come in so that it's ready to start in 2 rows time. So that'll be the first row it's doing, and now it's turning. Is it going to come up? Yes, it skips 2 this time, and then it's come up there. But I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to put out the auger. There we go. You do actually have to be in cab for the auger to come all the way out, don't you? Right, let's go and get this tractor. While I'm rushing over here, my question for this week is, do you want me to get more pigs as my next major task after the 2 that I'm doing this week? Do you want me to get more pigs, or do you want me to... Let me just bring up the map over here. Do you want me to get some more land? And the more land I get is going to be Field 15 and Field 20. I'd like to join those 2 together. We are going to this week, at least I hope it will be this week, we're going to start working on ploughing up a few sections over here for free land. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to work because it's rough, but that is going to be our free land. So do you want me to increase our land even further by getting Field 15 and 20 and joining them together? Or do you want me to expand the pigs? It's your vote, it's your game. Let me know what you want, and head into the comment section and let other people know what you want, and see if you can't persuade them that your particular decision is the way to go. I would like to hear what other people say. I would like to try and hear your reasoned arguments as to why I should or shouldn't do something. And if it's a good enough argument, I will listen to it and talk about it in one of the episodes. But I have just about run out of time for today. Let me just leap off here. I'm going to do a bit more of this combining in the next episode. I'll do a little bit more between now and next episode, but I will... Right, let's carry on here. I'm hoping that the GPS thing is still active, even though I leaked out of the tractor. No, it's not. So I need to activate that. There. Right, now it's active. That should be fine. So yeah, apparently leaping out of the machine just disables the GPS completely, which I didn't actually realise. I suppose... Well, actually, yeah, I suppose I should know that, because that kind of makes sense. The GPS is for when you're there driving it, not for, letting someone else do it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, it's your vote, it's your game, ladies and gentlemen. I really do want to hear what you have to say on the subject. Please don't forget to mouse over up in the corner and actually cast your vote. But explain to me why you're doing it. Explain to me why you want me to do the opposite of how the vote appears to be going. That is always interesting. I do get some very impassioned arguments and some very good arguments as to why I shouldn't be going the way the majority of the vote wants. And I will go the way the majority of the vote wants, but if you give me a good enough argument, I will also do what you want as well. So it's kind of, a double-barreled thing. Anyway, one other thing, people were telling me that they couldn't vote on phones. A lot of people now have said actually they can vote on the phones, and I've gone back through and looked at some older comments, and it looks like it was the iPod that you can't vote on. I didn't even know you could watch these videos on an iPod, but apparently you can. So it might just be a couple of limited devices where you can't actually vote, but the majority of them you can vote, and you should just go right ahead, cast your vote. Let us all know what you want. So you shouldn't really have any problems with that. If you've enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give me a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.